Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a bonus Blue Moon Tarot Oracle reading for the month of May. And Capricorn, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Capricorn, we all have a little bit of Capricorn in us somewhere. If you do have your birth chart, which house is Capricorn in? That will give you a better idea of where this energy is going to show up for you. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you are watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That could give you further clarity as to your situation now. We have the Knight of Swords to begin with, and this is the underlying energy from for the entire reading. So some sort of communication is coming in. The knights would deliver communication for the king and queen and throughout the kingdoms. In the old days, that was the only form of long-distance communication that they had. So they would always be in person and it would always be a male. But these days, this could represent a female in her masculine energy and all the different ways that we have of communicating this. So the person doesn't have to show up in person for you to recognize that this is the knight. It could be a phone call, a text message. You could have an email come through, possibly something comes in the mail. You could be on social media, and there's so many platforms, and get messaged by someone. You might even see an event posted and decide to attend that event, and maybe there you meet someone that has the perfect information or communication that you've been looking for. Also, it's a good idea if you want to keep in touch, with information, to just check out what's going on at the top of the pyramid every day. Just take 5 minutes or so. As painful as the news can be these days, it's a really good idea, because whatever's happening at the top of the pyramid is definitely going to trickle down and affect everybody to varying degrees. Plus, you might pick up some information about the latest trend, or give you an aha moment about, moving forward in your business, that type of energy. And we have this Knight of Swords. He's considered sometimes to be a fool rushing in. This is someone it looks like he's in a panic or he's very anxious. He is representing the element of air, and air is your thoughts. And so the swords represent our mental intelligence and discipline of the mind. And when we see, we can only see half his sword, and we can't see the point. And so we wonder, does he know the point of what his information is? Plus, he has a red flag at the back of his helmet, and he's really pushing this horse hard. Horses in tarot represent like heartfelt energy and passion. And this horse is totally stressed out. Look how anxious it looks. Plus, he's pushing it really, really hard in barren land and also against the wind. Even the clouds look jagged, like they're panicking, panicking clouds. And so this energy is talking about someone who is running toward you or running from you, or from some sort of information. So we'll look into this. We'll see what happens with this night, with the reading. And then we have the Hermit, and the Hermit is your underlying energy from the bottom of the deck for the internal forces. Internal forces come from within, and this is talking about, the question you would be asking yourself is, what if? What if someone does this? What if I do that? What if it doesn't work out? The woulda, shoulda, couldas of life. And with internal forces, the energy, can keep you kind of going in a loop, in a never-ending loop. And this is talking about the Hermit. And the Hermit is someone who has been through something heavy. And we can see there's that type of energy here, Capricorn. And we'll get into this in a minute here. But the Hermit goes to the top of the mountain to isolate themselves and get away from everybody so that they can get some peace. They can see someone coming if they climb the mountain. And while they're up there, when the lantern that they carry lights up with the light of the North Star represents your guiding light. for your destined path, then they know they have God's wisdom, and they come down from the mountain, and that's when they take action. And this energy here is talking about someone carrying a very heavy load. And the thing about this card is it has its, pluses and minuses. The heavy load, the wands here represent the element of fire, and they're representing passionate action. And so this person is coming home with the harvest from his actions and the actions of others in his life. And this is, as you can see, this is a very heavy load. You know how they have that, if you've ever heard the saying, can't see the forest for the trees? It's because, like, look how close he is to the situation. He can only see the details. He can't see the big picture anymore. And he can't see that he's almost home. And he looks really, really tired. He's exhausted, and it feels like he's going to quit any minute. Like, I just can't do it. But he's only like 10 minutes from home. So this card quite often is saying, don't quit now. Like, you're almost there. So many times people quit right before they are about to achieve their goal. And this is talking about planting seeds, and your actions have grown into these wands. Some of these wands are heavy with the fruit of your labor, so they might, be very valuable. And then you might also be carrying some burdens from other people. Another thing that this can represent is perhaps you purchased a house like 5 years ago, and you got it for a good price, and you've lived in it, you've enjoyed it, it's been great, but you really want to move now. You have an opportunity somewhere else, and the market is soft. So now you have to put a bunch of work into it, and you have to hire a realtor, and you have to do all these things so that you can get the value back out of that house and sell it. And so it's still an asset, but it is burdensome to you right now because of the change in your circumstances. So it can also represent that type of energy. If, however, you are carrying the burdens of other people, it's time to put them down because it's exhausting you. And this can represent, some of these wands I feel are heavy with the burdens of other people. Put them down in the field and phone them up if you want and tell them, come and get your burdens. I'm not carrying them for you anymore. But don't expect them to be happy about that, because people like when other people can. Some people don't want to carry their own burdens. So they'll probably not be, joyful about it. And then this is talking about the wounded warrior. And so this is 10, and this is the most that you can have. And this is 9. So I feel that one of these definitely was a burden from someone else that you put down, and it was a doozy. But the rest, what's good to see here is the rest are, fruit of your labor. And so you need to go into the castle and your home and be able to sort through it all and see what you're going to do. Now, this is a big accomplishment. This energy right here, this is your self-image. Like, you're exhausted from the trial of doing this. Having said that, you've come home and you have 8 wands planted. And you're leaning heavy on this 9th one, which is the one that's closest to your heart. And I guess you dropped one of them in the field. So this is wounded warrior energy. This is saying that you are staying on your path. You're doing the best that you can do to be the best version of yourself. And, you got a headache, but you're home. You made it. That's the energy. And now you can sort through, the harvest and decide what you're doing. What are you going to do with these actions from yourself and from others? How are you going to move forward? And here's a card of moving forward. This card quite often represents walking away from a situation that you've put a lot of love and energy into. So the cups generally represent love in tarot, and this can be romantic love. It also can be love of anyone or anything. And sometimes it's love of what you love to do or be. And we have this person walking away. There's 8 cups here. Sometimes this could represent, like, there's only 10 cups in tarot. So this could represent like 8 years of dedicating your energy towards someone or something. And now something has happened and you've decided you're walking away. And I feel that that is the burden that you put down, is whatever you're walking away from here, from this relationship, whatever that is. And we have the new moon and the full moon here. You know, this is a reading for the blue moon coming up, and I'll get to that in a little bit here. I just want to get an idea of what's going on in the reading here so that we can apply it, some advice to it. The energy, this is your abundance, and this is your communication in early life. So this could represent someone that you love, from that you've known, like someone very close to you that you've had to walk away from. This could represent even like a sibling or a parent, or like someone from your family, or it could represent a lover, your spouse, a partner in business that you've been in business with for a long time. That sort of energy. Well, if this is your reading, you'll probably have an idea of what's going on with this. But I'm reading for several people here, so I'm just doing my best to cover all the bases. We have walking away to put your mind to rest for a while, because you're recognizing you're exhausted, and you can see like this person's he's done. It's DONE. I am done with this energy. Now this is wanting to put his mind to rest, because this has been a real difficult decision to make, I feel. And I feel that's what the energy is about. I feel that the energy is about the decision, and we can see here that there's something going on with this. So this represents someone that takes, refuge in a church, or, a synagogue, something like that, with a stained glass window. And he is laying here, and he has laid his mind to rest, and he is meditating and praying, and he wants to be able to feel his heart. What does his heart want? What are his authentic desires? He wants to quiet his mind. And the way to quiet your mind and discipline your mind is to meditate and pray and make it be quiet. Train it to be quiet when you want it to be quiet, so that it works for you instead of against you. And he has hung his mind up on the wall here, and I feel this is the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind. Subconscious mind being your thoughts from when you were very young, like from baby to like around 5, 6, 7. Most of us don't remember what happened to us before kindergarten. Or vaguely, we have vague memories. And so we have to rely on the thoughts of the people that were in charge of our care, telling us what we were like, etc. And, babies are like sponges, and you look at what a baby learns in the first year alone. And so they really absorb this energy, and we have a tendency to whatever culture we're raised in, even the food we eat, the thoughts of the people, the way they handle money, the way they approach life, the way that they interact with other people, all of that is heavily imprinted on us. Yet we don't really remember most of it. And when we get really tired and stressed out, and our mind gets caught in a loop like that, we tend to rely on the subconscious mind. It's the first one that pops up because it's so heavily imprinted on us. And it's the least reliable in many ways, because it's really not even your own thoughts. And really, it's the thoughts of other people before you were a baby. And so this energy is not the most reliable mind. And then we have our unconscious mind. And our unconscious mind is representing our spiritual needs. And if you think of yourself, okay, I agree, I'm a human being and I have a soul. But from your soul's perspective, you are a soul traveling in a human body, and this is your vehicle for traveling to navigate planet Earth. And so this energy is very, it can get very loud if the spiritual needs are being ignored, and start arguing with the subconscious and the conscious mind. And the conscious mind is, I just walked into a church. I need to put my mind to rest. I'm laying here and I'm meditating and I'm trying to quiet my mind. You have a memory of what you're doing and what's going on. And so you're conscious of it. So this is, if you can get these three working together really strong and plug that into your heart, and the only way for that is to be able to feel, what does your heart want? It's not logical. What are your authentic desires coming from the heart? If you can plug into that, that's when you're going to be going for your authentic desires. And then the mind quietens. And the more you do it, the more you train your mind to work for you instead of against you. And we have on the stained glass window, there's the word PAX, P-A-X, which represents peace of mind. And that's the best thing you can do, because you're in this energy right now. This energy, this is about, the position is for, this is more for your home, your emotional foundation. So I feel like you're doing your best right now to, heal yourself and to feel safe at home. At home also means at home in your body, as well as at home in a home that you're in, or your environment that you're in. And this energy is talking about, your romantic life, children, creativity. And so in this energy, and this has been coming up a lot in a lot of the readings, and I feel because there's so much change happening in the world right now, and there's a lot of astrological influences that are really causing people to really feel this energy. This is someone who is trapped in their mind, basically. It's a mental prison. The swords, the swords represent the thoughts, and the water here represents emotions. And I feel that there was way more water here when this person started. They're bound up, and that sometimes represents being duty bound. And quite often that'll be because the thoughts are about people that we care about, people that, we're attached to, that matter to us, and or business that matters to us, or what we want to do with our life, what matters to us. And so these thoughts it's like there's 7 thoughts behind her, and she is like now taking a step forward with her right foot, showing that she's ready to take action, but her left foot, her creativity, is still stuck in the water. So this is talking about, it's a shallow puddle. Not saying that her emotions are shallow, but I feel there's way less emotion than when she started. She's worked her way through this, and there's only this one thought left, and this is the one that I feel she's getting ready to take action on. And then she'll cut these binds off of herself and, pull the blindfold off. She doesn't want to really see it. And this is, you notice in the background here is her castle. And that can be talking about leaving, leaving your home behind, leaving the people, your comfort zone, leaving people that you care about behind, that type of energy. And it's also speaking, sometimes these can be the thoughts of other people that you're letting go of, that their thoughts behind your back, what they're saying about this. So this is really a challenging energy to be in, and this is the very best thing that you can do when you're in this energy. And then we have, for the last card for the internal forces, is this Queen of Cups energy. So this is the most loving, maternal queen of all the queens. This is talking about someone that would be in a traditional marriage, most likely. And she has her cup here. It's got a lid on it, and it's really big. It's like a trophy. So this is someone that has a lot of love to give, and it's unconditional love. And the lid represents that she's a container of unconditional love. And so this also can represent your maternal bloodline. And, so your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother. It also can represent, if you are married, your spouse's maternal line. So your mother-in-law and, down her line. And quite often this card will come up in situations. It can represent some sort of energy of DNA, because the mitochondria that comes from the mother is passed down to daughters. And it's one factor in DNA that can be used to really track things. It's significant. And this energy quite often will bring up energies like maybe, getting DNA testing done. There's so many companies out there that do that now. And then we find out, we were adopted, or we're not really, something happened between our parents, that type of energy. And this, I feel, whatever this information is coming through, it is definitely about this energy. I don't see like romantic love here so much. I see like more of a maternal love, and a lot of action happening. It's more of a, this is passionate action, but it doesn't necessarily have to be about love. And I feel like this could be about a relationship that you've been in, that is someone that had a third party. There was a third party involved. We have 5 years here, maybe, and then 2, and there's a gap in between. So something has happened here, but we don't really have clarity on what exactly that is. Now, you would have a good idea, or you probably do have a good idea of what's going on. We'll look into the external forces now, see if we can get some clarity there. We have the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles, she is sitting on her throne with this large pentacle in her lap. Pentacles in tarot represent the energy of health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. And it's represented with a coin because, money is a huge part of being happy in the third D. And we have like the Capricorn energy here. This energy is very, you're the sign that is the most mature earth sign. And so the earth sign energy that is represented by this pentacle, it's earthly matters and matters of earth. And so this is quite often, this is representing very ambitious energy. The Capricorn energy is ambitious, and your glyph is the sea goat. So the sea goat takes very consistent steps of action towards the goal. Think of a mountain goat climbing a mountain, but it has this dolphin tail on the end of it instead of hooves. So you can imagine, but when that sea goat falls down, it just gets right back up and it keeps going. And that's this is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn just moved into the sign of Aries, and it's having an effect on people, how they feel about their responsibility, about moving forward, and a lot of new energy. And Neptune, which is about idealism, moved in with Saturn around within 10 days of each other into the sign of Aries. Neptune stays in a sign for 14 years. So for 14 years, Neptune is going to be in the sign of Aries. And this was after being in Pisces for 14 years. A lot of people are finding this now in business and in, just in life in general, that the way that the way you used to do things is not necessarily working anymore. It's kind of like everything that you learned about, Neptune in Pisces is very idealistic, and things will work out, and I've always done it this way and it's always worked this way, so why wouldn't it work this way? And Aries is about a screaming baby that's crying because it hasn't been fed on time. And it's a totally different energy, learning to do things that you were doing already for the last 14 years a certain way, that now you have to adapt, and you have to adapt to this change. And, in this year period, and particularly in the last 4 or 5 months, there was 6 signs that had moved into Aries, and all of these signs together like that, the astrologers were predicting that it won't happen for another 500 to 800 years. So it's intense energy. It's about new ways of doing things, new ways of approaching business, new ways of approaching life in general, new ways of approaching relationships. And we have this energy here. We are on the blue moon. This month right now, it's extra emotional because we have 2 full moons in 1 month. That's what a blue moon is. Blue moon is, we had a full moon on the 1st, and we had a full moon on, we will be having one on the 31st. Generally, with full moon energy, we're going to feel that quite intensely 3 days before and after the full moon. And it's being a little more emotional than usual. And we've had 2 full moons in 1 month, so it's been an emotional month, but it's also been a very intuitive month. And this full moon coming up is in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius energy is wanting to use the intuition. Across the horoscope wheel from Sagittarius is the Gemini energy. And Gemini is all about logic. It's very quick-witted. It likes that Aries energy. Yeah, let's think, like constantly changing their mind. Quite often Gemini is, considered to be like twins, because you never know which version of them you're going to get. And that's because they have a lot of thoughts. They're very very quick with the mind. And so this is, like the two, Sagittarius is more intuitive and of the higher mind, and Gemini is more about let's get things done on Earth. And this is kind of like moving into this Capricorn energy right now. Now, at the beginning of June, on June 9th, Venus and Jupiter are both going to be moving into the sign of Cancer together. And this is about your home. And like, this is the very best thing you could do right now, Capricorn, is move in, like do a lot of meditation and prayer to calm this energy down. It's because this June 9th, a lot of astrologers are saying this is going to be the luckiest day of the year, and some are saying of the decade, when it comes to matters of love and matters of money. And the last time, I think it's been around 31, 32 years. I forgot to double check that, but it is around that time frame since Venus and Jupiter have been together, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius, which is the moon we have now. So I feel that this blue moon energy, the blue moon energy can be really emotional and it can be really volatile. But when I look back, it only happens about every 3 years, basically, 2.5 to 3 years, depending on, the stars. And this energy, when I look back in the past, when there was blue moons, I found that that's when I tended to have like real major things go really well in my life. But after a lot of like a lot of back and forth and weird things happening and having to really use the intuition to get to the end of it. So I feel that this blue moon coming up right now is like a stepping stone or a launching pad for going into that energy on June 9th. And I mean, hey, it's only one day, and it's like money and love. So I feel that that's the energy we're launching into. And there's something about this that it would really benefit you to get that mind really controlled and be ready for that, that full moon coming up, and recognize that it could be quite emotional and it might be volatile. Don't give up. That's what this is saying. Don't say, oh, well, it's over and I'm not going to keep on taking the steps of action that I need to take. And the Queen of Pentacles, she's known for being resourceful in that way. This energy is talking about she can make something out of nothing. And she also prefers quality over quantity. The thing about the Queen of Pentacles that I always wonder, she comes from generational wealth. I mean, this is like a legacy that you can pass down from your children to your children's children. And I'm wondering what happened. Like, why does she have to be so resourceful? But what's really interesting is, that here comes that Gemini energy again. Uranus just moved into the sign of Gemini. And the last time Uranus was in Gemini was in 1941 to 1949. And that was during World War II and the aftermath after it. Like, think about that. But the bottom line with this energy is that Gemini wants the truth to come out. And, your truth to come to, like, it's got to come out. And we're seeing this all over the planet right now. We're seeing so many truths coming out. Every day there's another truth coming out. I just saw something again this morning, and it's like, oh, here's another person that's in the elite being arrested again, Oh, Lord. And it's like, it's people that you thought justice is never going to be taken for these people. They're too high up there. They have too much money, too much power, whatever. And here we go. Here's someone else that has been arrested this morning, that type of energy. So this is in your commitment, partnerships, and commitment, partnerships, and marriage. Now, I want to know if this queen comes from generational wealth and she's in charge of pentacles and she's really good at it. Why is she having to be so resourceful? I want to know that. And this is in your position of the energy is of that partnership energy. So what was going on that has caused you to be in this energy? And we have, okay, so this is talking, Six of Cups is talking about reconciliation with someone. This could be talking about a reunion. And again, remember what I said about this could be someone from your early childhood. This is talking like about the illusions that we have around childhood. And that's the moon energy. The moon energy is hidden secrets and illusions coming to the surface. And we have, this is about reconciliation. When you first look at this card, you're thinking, okay, these two children are playing with these potted flowers and someone's standing in the background watching over them. But then you look again and you're like, wait a minute, that's a gnome and this is a little woman. And this little woman, when you look at her from the back, she looks like a hag. When you look at her from the front, she looks like a young woman. But they're both wearing this white mitt. And this is saying they do not want to get their hands dirty. Neither one wants to. The old hag just tells him, take your flowers and go. We're not interested, and she's ready to march off. But the young woman is being nice, and she's trying to explain why they don't want to get their hands dirty, and they don't want the flowers because of that. And this card is saying, if someone from your past comes in that has been causing you this type of energy, are you going to be a people pleaser, or are you going to stand up for yourself here? And this could be anyone from, your childhood. So it could be your parents, and we have some maternal energy here. It could be, siblings. It could be, someone that you have been doing business with from the past. Doesn't necessarily have to be about your childhood. It could mean that it's someone that that you haven't seen for a while, someone from your past that you haven't talked to for a long time. It could be also someone that maybe you went to high school or elementary school with, or college even, back then and back in time. And it's saying that definitely if there's some sort of reconciliation with someone, that would imply that there needs to be forgiveness and an apology. But you could forgive someone and not even tell them. Like, if you forgive someone, it's not condoning their actions, and it doesn't mean, hey, I want to be your best buddy again. It just means that you want to make room in your heart for new love and new projects and new energy to come in and let go of this burden. And this card is full of illusions. These white flowers in tarot, those represent, white flowers represent innocence, but these are not innocent plants. These are from the nightshade family. This is actually Datra. And Datra, if a child or a pet were to ingest this, they could become very ill. Shamans sometimes use this to heal childhood wounds through visions in their ceremonies, but they know what they're doing, and that's with adults. They've been doing it for centuries. This energy here is in the background is actually someone walking away. It's not someone watching over the children. So there's a lot of illusions in this card, and it's saying that you might have a lot of illusions about your childhood or someone that you did business with, or something happened in the past. And this external force of the money being missing. What's that about? That's the energy. And it's got something to do with the past, going all the way back to your childhood. Because this maternal energy is here, it could have something to do with your mother's bloodline. It might be DNA. There could be someone that was adopted, or that type of energy. There's something going on. And then we have how much strength and integrity it takes to face your fears, that are coming in from your childhood. And so this is, again, exactly the energy that you need to be in to quiet that mind. And what this young woman is reaching deep into this mature male lion's mouth. And that would be very dangerous. But she is determined to be able to face her fears, because she wants to be in her infinite potential. And so this is talking about the courage that it takes to face this shadow side, because you have to take responsibility for your part in the illusion. And also you might be getting some information coming in about some of the actions that some people took behind your back. Or, and these could be people that are from your family. These could be people that are really, that you thought were really good friends. These could be people that were people that you work with, and that's why there's some missing coin. And worst of all, this could be a partner that you have in business, or your significant other, whether you're married to them or they're a partner of yours. And then, oh, look at this, we have the devil coming in. And so Capricorn energy is ruled by Saturn, and so is the devil ruled by Saturn. And so this is heavy, like it's heavy energy. Now Saturn is sitting with Aries right on top of Neptune. They've been together there hanging out for quite some time now. And it's heavy energy, like it's and Neptune is used to doing things for 14 years one way and is having to deal with that, that type of energy. And Saturn is like, they're on top of each other, but they're starting to separate now a little bit. So it's not as heavy as it was, but a lot of people have been feeling this, like all the bad things that are happening around the world, and how the economy is changing, and everybody's having to kind of scramble and do things a new way. And then there's AI and all the fears around that. So it's that insecurity. And so the devil is actually a representation of energy that is temptation. And the devil spelt backward is lived. And so this is not an alive energy. He can't do his own dirty work. So he has to send a minion in. When the devil comes in, you're not going to get the truth from the devil. It's manipulative energy. So I always like to check. I cover him with the next card up. I want to know, what minion does he send in, or does God send someone in to counter it? What's this about? Look at this, the heartache. So the devil sends in someone to cause you heartache. Whoa. So this energy, let's take a look at this. This is talking about, now this card has several meanings. This can be gossip, slander, harsh words being spoken. And look at, and this quite often is, these three swords are in your heart. And this energy is talking about, three swords in the heart: heartache, heartbreak, a need for forgiveness, a need for healing the heart. And this was caused by external forces coming towards you. And this can also represent a very potentially heartbreaking decision, could be needing to be made. And that's what, we have going on here. And this can sometimes even represent perjury in court. A person who's afraid to speak their truth because their heart is in their throat. But when it also can mean that you were in this position, and because you did the hermit energy, and because you learned that discernment, that you're not going to be a people pleaser anymore, and you've done this energy. This can represent now that your heart is healing or healed, and that you have the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind congruent, working with each other, plugged into your plugged into your hearts, your authentic desires. This is about your higher learning. So everything you've been through is healing, and look at all that you've learned from it. And this would confirm that there is a possibility that if you were in a relationship with someone, in your, commitments, partnerships, etc., they may have been more interested in the money than they were in you. If you had more money than them, or they thought you had more potential than them to bring money in, and they might be coming in and asking for another chance, that type of energy. People, I couldn't advise you on that, except that be aware that people have a tendency to show you who they are the first time around, and it's best to believe them. But this energy could definitely talk about that type of energy. But you are, I feel this is really good. It's saying that you're healed from whatever that happened, and you're ready to move forward in a strong way. So this is good. And then we have, look at this, we have the Hangman. Like, you want to talk about someone that's been doing a lot of the meditation and prayer. And what better time than now to do that? Yes, it's very emotional because we have that extra full moon, but it's also very intuitive. And this is saying now that you've healed, you're hanging from the tree of knowledge now and upside down, because you want to look at things from every which angle that you can and gain a totally new perspective. And when the light around your head shines, the halo or the aura is shining bright, then you take action, and not until then, so that you're taking good, responsible action. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles coming in, and this is talking, so this is about your career and reputation. And now the Knight is coming in. So this Knight, you see the difference in this Knight to this Knight? This one is panicking. This one, sometimes this can represent an investigation being taken by the law, or it can even represent like hiring a private eye. Someone's hired a private eye to see what happened to this money. They want to know what happened. And that's the energy that's coming either towards you or from another source saying, panic, panic, press the panic button. It's something, they know what happened to this missing pentacles. And so this energy is saying, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving. But when the information comes in, it's usually pretty accurate information that has been well researched. And this could represent justice coming in for whatever was done on the wrong side of the law here. So as long as you've been in the on the right side of the law, on spiritual law and physical law, this is going to be a blessing coming in for you. And for whoever stole money or was involved in this heartbreaking energy, like someone this is really feeling devastated because it was someone that you really felt was they had your back, and they didn't. It was behind their back. There was this going on. And then this is talking about feeling like it's time to make a change. So this is talking about this person is standing at the turret of their castle, and they realized, okay, this is all I can do with this cycle. With these people, whatever, it's time to move forward, time to move on. Take whatever wands were successful. This can sometimes represent a franchise business, or an entrepreneur that's thinking about franchising their business and maybe expanding their horizons in that way. This globe in his hand represents him. He's saying, I have the world in my hands. But he comes from a very small village. So he realizes, okay, I need to get out of here. I need to get away from, these people. And we can see that in a couple places here. I need to move forward and let go of the situation from the past and look towards new adventures in new ways. And, the universe is very much, and the astrological influences are very much supporting truth coming out about any illegal actions, whatever. I don't care if this might have happened back to your great grandmother, and it's going to come out because we have Uranus. Uranus is in the sign of Gemini until 2033. So there's lots of time for the truth to come out here, and it will. And we're seeing it happen. The truth will always come out. It just sometimes takes a while, and that's this energy here. But I feel like this, I only God would know the time frame on this. But I feel like this is like you're in this energy now of getting through this part of it for sure. And maybe it's already passed, and you have learned some information about some missing pentacles that were illegally taken from someone. All right, I'm going to clarify this now for those of you who want clarification. And if you're leaving off here, thank you for your time and energy, and for any likes and comments. I really appreciate them. And I'm going to clarify now with my oracle. And I started this back in 2007. In 2020, I completed all 64 paintings. It's Tales from the Vector. I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and this energy is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. The numbers on these cards represent the paintings as they're listed in the gallery on my website, so you can check them out. I'll put them in the description box in the order they appear here, so you know which ones to look for. And we have foolhardy energy. So when this information comes in, as soon as you know the truth, you're going to be way better off, and you're going to be able to move forward in a strong manner. And this character here might be running from the truth. They thought they were anticipating a good result, but now the truth is coming out about this money that was taken, and they're panicking. They're like, or it's an investigator rushing in, maybe to stop someone from going across, to another country, or some sort of energy like that. We have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is saying, yes, the past, the present, and the future, God's plan is coming into play. And I feel like this means that the wheel is starting to turn in your favor. And this is a Sagittarius energy. So this could represent, that moon, again, that blue moon is a launching pad for this energy coming in. We have Leo here, which is about Leos are natural born leaders, but it's the 5th sign in the zodiac. And so, if we start off at the infant, this is like teenage boys, very impulsive energy. Quite often Leo energy will cover up any lack of confidence they have with arrogance, and just being aware of that kind of energy. But they are natural born leaders. They usually mature late, though. The fire signs have a tendency to take their time settling down and maturing. Also, I want to point out that anytime I have horoscope signs come up in my readings, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about how we can learn from the energy. If you ever get your birth chart done, you'll notice that you have most of the signs in your chart, somewhere in there. And so we can learn from them. And in your own reading here, you might say, no, it was a Leo. But, or Leo is significant to you in some way. But you can just take that and use your intuition. It could be true for sure, but I just want you to understand that's not my intention as I'm reading this, to point individuals out. The Magician is talking about an energetic upgrade for sure, because you stayed on your destined path and you're doing your best to be a good person, not trying to steal from others, and all of that energy. Lack of awareness. Never underestimate the power of willful ignorance. And quite often, when it comes to matters of love, people that we love, that kind of energy, I feel like this is absolutely true. I feel like after all the readings I've been doing, love is blind after all, whether that be romantic or otherwise. We don't want to see people that we care about, that we think are our friends, that are our family, that we look up to, that we, our peers. We don't want to see them as people that would do this kind of, would do their best to put us in this kind of energy and cause illusions and, take money illegally and that kind of energy. We want to think of them in a strong way. But the Tower hits, and I feel like that's when the Wheel of Fortune starts turning, because justice is coming in. And so the Tower is a reality check for everyone. The reality check is quite often the Tower is uncomfortable for everyone. If you're on the right side of the law, or you're on the other. We'll talk about justice and this at the same time. So justice is a double-edged sword. When justice comes in and you have a reality check like this coming in, if you're on the right side of the law, it's going to be a blessing. If you're on the wrong side of the law, that's spiritual or whatever, it's going to bring the truth to light, and it's going to, sometimes this energy right here can even, instead of just being a mental prison, can represent the energy of jail, that kind of energy. This can be investigators closing in. What else do we have here? So far, that's all I can see for that type of energy. But we have the degradation. So a lot of times when this kind of energy is happening, and everybody else knows something and we don't, we'll feel degraded. And that's the whole point. This is a tactic people use to lower your vibration, lower your confidence, and take your leadership qualities from you so that they can take this pentacle, this giant pentacle that's coming in. And so this could have, like, again, this is a transition right now in the external forces happening. So it's confirming that the Wheel of Fortune is turning to bring the truth out. That's that Uranus and Gemini energy. There could be something you really find out from the past, and maybe you already did, and that's why you were so upset. But I feel it might have to do with your mother's line, or if you're married, it could have to do with your spouse's mother and her line. That there's some energy there that is a tactic. And we have integrity. So look at the integrity is talking here about being able to look into this. We've got integrity here, on courage. So this is the same card. Being able to really look at your own, part in this, or what could you have done differently? What can you learn from it? Instead of not beating yourself up, but what can you learn from it? And then also from the other side, the energy is attachment. Oh my goodness, I'm choking here. It's coming up to this card. So attachment is a karmic space. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. Basically, this is saying people that were attached to what was yours, and they didn't have any problem taking it. They wanted it. And that's this temptation. They gave in to the temptation. That's why I'm coughing all of a sudden. We're coming up on this heart in the throat, abuse of power. So, yeah, this is about taking from someone what doesn't belong to you, that energy. And then we have the destruction. So yeah, what's progress for some people is destruction for others. Definitely, that's an energy that. If you ever have had something stolen from you that was really important to you, or had people that you, that went out of their way to make you lose your confidence, and, behind your back they were doing things that lacked integrity because they wanted something, that energy of like someone marrying you possibly just because you had money. It's not a great feeling. And then disruption. What's fun for some is not fun for everyone. Yeah, some people really enjoy conflict. Some people like to fight. Some people even train to fight, because they like fighting so much, and like they don't want to fight in the streets. So there's all over the world, there's all sorts of martial arts and all sorts of things. And it's a good confidence builder, but it's someone that enjoys that type of energy. Like you don't see people going to take martial arts unless they're afraid and they want to learn protection skills and have that confidence, or people who like go on to compete in it really enjoy it. It's about the skill level and all of that energy. And so we have otherworldly desires and worldly desires. So this is saying that this energy, it's another karmic space that people can fall into where they actually want to be on your destined path rather than on their own, on a spiritual level. And we talked about that, like if the spiritual needs are not met, how that can create a big tower here. And I feel that was part of it. So it's not just the money that they wanted basically your destiny instead of their own, which is really silly. Like this is God's plan. Like if you really feel that you're going to win over God, even like the devil has been, realizes it's not working. The truth is coming out. There's a lot of truths coming out right now. So this is give yourself total permission to be your authentic self. It's never been a better time to be your authentic self and stand out in your power. Stay on your destined path. Be the best version of you. Don't be trying to take from others what is theirs when you should be working or could be working on what belongs to you, which is going to be perfect for you. It just doesn't make sense. So I do hope you've enjoyed this, Capricorn. Please do give it a like and comment. It really does help me build my channel. I really appreciate it. And also consider subscribing. I would be honored if you did so. I'll be back with, I'm going to do that reading for the beginning of June. And we'll talk some more then about this June 9th date. All right. Bye for now.